If your ink's too slow and your nib won't flow, here's one of the places that you can go. Larry is here to see you through with Mr. Announcer and Cubby too. It's Larry's Fountain Pen Reviews.
Hey folks, Larry here, and Doc is here joining us today. We were supposed to have a gentleman named
Diego Irigoyen.
Yeah, at 12 noon today, but for some reason I couldn't make it. So on with the show. Doc, would you tell us about that pen you just purchased?
Yeah, well, first, the history of that is I was, because I came onto this site, I learned about the person, the company, the person. It's called Mr. Cypress, and they're out of, I think, Taiwan or China, something. I guess the same thing now. But so I learned about him here from Tony Restici, my paisan, and so I looked at the pens. First of all, I couldn't believe the level of detail and the price of the pens, because if you're talking about some of these pens that have rodden work, abalone and mother of pearl, these things can run thousands of dollars. Even his urushi work with the hand painting, every pen I've seen is pretty much between $500 and $1,200, which try and buy an urushi, Namiki Emperor, you're talking like $8,000 for that.
Easy.
And, which is from my perspective, I'm not talking about worth. I'm just talking about that's not an amount of money I would ever spend on a pen. Might spend it on a watch, but on a pen, it's just weird the way you can think of things. And so I looked at this and I wasn't quite sure. I'm like, wow, these are really, really nice. And so I put an order in, and the first pen I ordered from him was, because I'm a fan of Platinum 3776 pens, a real fan of those pens. Right, and he has a whole series done with the 3776 nib, and this one is actually done using the black on there for the barrel, and the cap are some type of animal horn. I think they're naturally shed. Then you have ebonite as the feed, and that little red dot, which is the roll stop, that's red. That's red coral.
Wow.
And so
stunning.
Yeah. Now the actual 3776 Platinum, you could probably buy in the U.S. for somewhere in the area about $180 to $200.
Yeah.
Pen was about double that, but remember, this is all custom work. And the horn, it's just a beautiful pen. It's got, this has a 3776 fine nib on there, 14 karat gold. But when I first got the pen, I think what happened was I screwed up and I cross-threaded the cap. I couldn't get the thing on, so no questions asked. He took the pen back. He paid for the shipping, and so I offered to pay for the whole thing because I felt it was my fault, and he was having none of that. So he took the pen back and sent it to me, and so I got the pen back in my hands now. It was an amazing turnaround time, but stood behind his work, and so the pen is back in my hands again. And the cap, I guess it was meant to fit that way. The cap is snug on here, but it does come off. I don't know if it's subject to like the humidity and the weather and temperature here, but it's a beautiful pen. And that started me off on, of course, the way he stood behind it. I was very much into getting another one, so that's when I got the Owl pen. And just to show you, let me go back and show you what the 3776 looks like capped. This way you can see it. It's got a beautiful shape. Can you see that? Is this pen?
It's gorgeous pen.
Yeah, it really is. And
just a knockout pen. Yeah,
and I think you have to go to his website. The only caution I have is when you go to the website, on the right portion of the screen, you've got to click on the USA prices. All right, US dollar prices, because I've had people go there and freak out. Well, the pen says, $14,000. It's like, no. That's in whatever currency they use. So and so he's very, very much a gentleman, great person, stands behind his work. And so the next logical thing for me was to get the Owl pen, and this is the pen capped. Can you see that?
Yeah. How long did it take him to get that pen to you?
No, that was already made, that pen. You go to his website, he's got He's got these pens he does, and he posts them up there. That pen is made of ebonite, and I believe both abalone and mother of pearl. But I like owls, as you guys know, and so that's why I'm going to put the other one up there. Let me go share here. And so this shows you the nib in place. Can you see that?
Yeah, beautiful.
You can see the owl. It's the one that John did for me. And, there's a Yowo nib. He'll give you a choice of Yowo or Bach steel nibs. I guess he can do gold, but I had these nibs. I have so many of those nibs laying around. But I wanted owl ones. And as I might have mentioned, Ryan Krusak is doing a custom pen for me. Have you guys seen those pens made from mammoth tooth? They're like blue and red. So I think it was a red one I chose from him. And he's got some white antler horn, naturally shed antler horn. He's going to hand paint an owl on for me. Because years ago, I commissioned a young artist named Abby Diamond. Let me see, owl. I think I might.
You have an owl on the nib, yeah.
Yeah. But this is what she made for me, and I'm going to open this up, and I will stop sharing that and share this one. But this is a print. I still haven't framed this print yet, but no, sorry, it's not a print. It's an original pen and ink in watercolor. Can you see that?
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
So Ryan's going to do something based on that, and on the cap of the pen. So that's where I've got those owl nibs also for that. So, and getting back to Mr. Cypress, the gentleman has a huge website. It's in both Chinese, I think, and English. Just make sure you click on the right things, the right dollar amount as well, because I remember we talked about this on one Zoom where somebody says, my God, but the pen was like, I'll never be able to afford that. It was like, 14,000. It's not 14,000. It's just, you got the wrong currency up, which can sometimes be tricky. I know even with people in Europe, it's like the euro and things like that, and getting that conversion that doesn't convert as well to US dollars. So, but the other thing I had, and I believe I showed this to you guys as well, with Mr. Cypress, I had the Damascus steel pen. You might remember that. This pen, let me show you also what he sends. Where is it? Okay.
You don't have the pen case that came in, do you?
Yes, I do. And I'll show you that. There's the one for the Damascus one is it's a larger display case with a glass lid. The other ones are smaller, but I'll show you those as well. And also show you the pen cases that he basically sent to me. This is that. Trying to keep track of all these things I'm opening up on the screen at the same time is daunting, to say the least. So first, I'll cover what happened, what came with the Damascus steel pen. If you remember me talking about it, it's one of the most beautiful pens I've ever seen. The problem is the pen is extremely heavy. We're talking 120 grams.
I remember saying that.
The heaviest pen I've ever touched before that was Andy Lambro's sterling silver set that he made. I forget the designation of it, but those are like monstrously heavy pens. This pen, I joke around that when they shipped it to me because there's now mass on my side of the earth to change the rotation of the earth. I'm of course exaggerating, but he also makes one, Damascus steel has I think copper, and it's just a beautiful pen. So anyway, this is the way the pen shipped to me. Can you see that?
See it? Okay, just like that. Yeah.
So the pen itself was in a separate plastic thing, wrapped up, and the actual display case, which you see, is really nice to have, and that's bamboo, so it's really
I like that. I like that display case.
Yeah, and if you see that the bottom of the case is two little blips, that's magnet magnet closures. And so those are the leather cases that he sent to me. These are two different times. One was with I forget now. One was with the 3776, and the other one was with this particular pen.
Now, Doc, if you don't mind me, how much did you pay for that?
Good question, Larry. Good question. Hold on. I don't know. I want to say $600 to $800. I'm not sure.
Not a bad price.
No, let me open up the website.
Put all you got.
Yeah, no. The even like the regular case is a real quality case. The wooden bamboo case, they're really beautiful. So right now, I go down to his website, Mr. Cypress.
So do you use a 3-pin case, 2-pin case, or 1-pin case?
The pen case I use the most, Larry, is the Visconti 2-pen case with the zipper on it. That's the one I use, but I also have a bunch of cases from the guy in Turkey.
Right. Okay. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, whoa,
I
man,
do.
that guy's workmanship and prices are just
Yeah.
very impressive.
Galen,
Talk about cases one day. Yeah, I'm gonna try and share my Safari browser. So I think you'll be able to follow along with me as I click through it. Can you guys see the browser?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, so these are some of the rod and pen. That's one on a rod and pen. I know Olga that was just on our site on our Zoom a week ago or so.
My
She
God,
just got
I'm in
one.
heaven.
Yeah, so if I go to the Damascus, where's Damascus here? I hope you'll be able to follow along as I click on
I
it.
am.
Where was that? Customized collection. Let me see. No, you see those colors?
Yes, sir.
The top
So
row.
right there, freeze it right there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right there.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
So here's the Damascus steel one on the right side.
Gotcha.
So now you see it says 16,800. That's
Yeah.
Taiwan dollars. So if I click over to the right, you see it says United States dollars.
Yeah.
I'm gonna click on that. Now you'll see the price for these things. So which is incredibly reasonable. So the one I
Whoa,
have,
it's incredibly reasonable.
yeah, I think I paid probably around 700 for the pen. And
Wow.
there's also one made with horn, which is slightly lighter. So I don't know if it gives you all of the oh, come on, where is it? There it is. So this is the one I bought. See, this is weight 121 grams.
Okay.
There's another one on here, and this one is 98 grams. It's still a heavy pen, but that's the one with the horn on the barrel. But look at that beautiful
Let me stop you there for a second. Now, I forgot, without looking it up, on my Visconti, the watermark, would it be as heavy as that?
Oh, Larry, no comparison, Larry.
Really? Really?
The Visconti would be a feather compared to that pen I bought.
Wow.
Oh yeah, it's hard to. The only way I can explain it is that I believe the pen would be. Do you own any of the Iroshizuku bottled inks? Like I like them.
Yeah.
It's about upwards of about 3 of those bottles filled.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll be done. When we get through with this Zoom, you know I'm going to try that.
Yeah, it's just way too heavy for most folks, but just the pattern alone, I've always been a big fan of Damascus steel since.
But you know, for me, I like heavy pens. I always have. For some reason, I just like them. So we get along fine. I've never had a problem. Beautiful pen.
Yeah, it is. The metal on that is just amazing. So let me see, Mr. Okay, so that's and he's got, if you look down the left-hand side here, there's a whole bunch of different types of pens. He's got Maki-E pen, which I'll click on. So there's the hand-painted Urushis, and the price. I mean, look at I'm not saying it's the fanciest one I've ever seen, but let's take a look at this one. This pen sells for $369 US. Try and find Maki-E for that price. I mean, these are really incredible values.
Enlarge that for me. Make it bigger, can you?
Yeah, 1 second.
Okay.
Can you see it?
I can see. No,
It didn't come up.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me try something. I opened it in a new window. That's why. I'm sorry, because it's a magnified view. So this is what it looks like.
Oh, wow. At a giveaway price. It just, wow. Unbelievable.
Well, let me see, because there's something on that image that's actually curious to me. Let me open up the actual original one, which is here. I want to see what that description is. Hold on, Larry. Can you see the regular screen again?
Yeah, just the top of it. Yeah.
Okay. So
I can see all of it now, but yeah, it's small.
Yeah, the reason why I'm trying to find it is because the pen he's showing has a gold nib, got a Bach gold nib.
I see it. Okay.
I don't know if that comes. I don't know if that comes standard with it, because I'm looking at it. It just says nib, Yowo, Bach. It doesn't say anything about gold here. That might be an add-on price. Let me see. But these are, I mean, steel or not, these are pretty incredible for the workmanship that goes into this to, you know, to, let me see what else he's got here. He's got several pages.
Yeah, just the workmanship alone's worth way that.
Right, and here's something that's on the upper end. This is the I guess the goldfish one. And can you see that pen?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you enlarge that?
Yeah, I think I could. Hold on a second.
Oh, look at the work on that. Look at the work on that sucker. The
Yeah,
detail work. Look
now
at it.
that Larry is let me click on the nib area here. See, that's got an 18 karat. I don't know if he's offering that with those pens. You might have to, I'd have to see. I'm not quite sure. It's
Right.
only to show 18 karat gold nibs, but I don't think that's part of it. Also says out of stock for those pens as well. But the price on those, that one with the goldfish, that's $822. And again, not a cheap pen by any means. But if you look at some of the other pens that they are from Japan that are offered with this kind of workmanship, you know, they're much more expensive. Now, in fairness, Namiki pens, they put a lot more, I guess, stuff down because a lot of those things are raised like goldfish on there and things like that. But I'm no expert in Urushi, but still, these are pretty. I mean, you can get yourself a nice hand painted Urushi pen, you know, for $400. You know, it's
Dr. McCarty has a lot of them Marishi pens, the high end ones too.
Yeah, I forget if he said he was going to get one. This is another one.
I'm going to bring him back with you and him again.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Find out if he's got anything from Mr. Cypress, because again, I can't speak to this. I don't have the Urushi stuff. I have tends to be like Nakaya. It tends to be just, you know, coating. They make some fancier pens as well, but you know, you're talking for a Nakaya with goldfish, it would probably run you several $1,000s. But you know, I think Tony Rustici is about to order something from him as well. Olga got a beautiful pen. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can get this up. Here it is. Let me share this screen with you. And this is sort of a modern take on, where is it? A modern take on, okay, here it is. Can you see that?
Yeah.
That's a Rodden pattern work. It's just beautiful. I mean, she just picked that. She got that pen the same day I think I got my owl pen. And
yeah, these don't have any clips. They have the little stops on it.
Right, but no, he's got clip pens as well. He does. You have to go through that website. The website, yeah, oh, wait a minute, I enlarged my screen view and now it's too big. Okay, let me get the website up. No, not that. Come on, Joe, how do I get this? Oh, plus or minus, okay. There we go. Let me share the screen again. Some people like to use two big monitors. I get confused when I do that, so I don't use two big monitors. I use one 27-inch.
I get confused using one, so don't feel bad. So there.
No.
That's why.
Let me show you quickly the what came with the 3776 pen. I'll do that now. I think I have that. Yeah. So, okay. Can you see that?
I'm looking at it. Yes, sir.
So that box is bamboo. You can tell it's not like a lot of these wooden boxes, very light wood, and they don't fit together well. This is actually a pretty amazing fit on this thing. You can do for more than just a pen case. This is the leather pen case that came with it, the sleeve that came with it, that little pouch. And you can see where it says Mr. Cypress. That's paper he sent, as well as a bag.
Okay,
And
right there, if I can interrupt you, sir. On the pen case itself, does it hold just that one pen, or does it have several slots to hold others?
2 pens.
Okay.
The other ones, let me see if I can I didn't really photograph them yet. At some point, I will photograph them. Let me see if I quickly find them. I put a whole bunch of stuff away in a box in my storage room because I just got too much stuff out. Give me a second. Oh, wait a minute. Where did I put that box? I don't know if I can find it now, but no, I'll have to look for it later. But I believe some of those pen cases, the actual inside slides out with the pen. And they're not real long. So for instance, I could fit the 3776 in there, but and a Pro Gear Sailor Pro Gear, but I don't think it'll fit the Owl pen. Yeah, so no. But it's really well done. The way it's packaged is really incredible. And I've been very, very pleased with the stuff I've gotten, the way he stands behind what he does. And for that Damascus pen, which was not a cheap pen, but was not ridiculous either, that came with that glass display case, which is pretty amazing, So let me just get something else up here. But the Owl really is just a beautiful pen. Oh, and to give you a sense of the size of these pens, I also took can you see that size picture?
Yeah.
So you can see it's longer than the 149.
Uh-huh.
It's about the same girth as the 149, maybe a little girthier. But it pretty much dwarfs the Platinum 3776. And that's the actual other one with the horn, the 376 nib. It's shorter, but it's about the same thickness width as the 149. I put the Lamy Safari in. First of all, Lamy Safari is a great pen.
It is.
But you'd be surprised. I had a guy go off on me on Facebook because, oh, this is ridiculous. Why would you include such a cheap pen with all these pens? But pal, a lot of people own Lamy Safaris. That's the only thing they have to judge it by. And maybe there's somebody out there willing to spend a bunch of money on a pen, and they want to know how big is it a 149 compared to a
right. Well, I get in trouble then, yeah, because I do the same thing. Wow.
Well, I don't know if I did it on your site, but I have a lot of size comparison images I've taken over the years. And so
I need to restart that. I used to do it a whole lot, but then I stopped for whatever reason, but I need to get back to it because people have been asking, so I need to probably get back to it. And like, here's my Lamy right here. I mean, I use Lamy fountain pen, Safaris.
Well, I think what happened was I didn't know much about Lamy early on, so I just assumed cheap pen, cheaply made, blah, blah, blah. I didn't realize that's like German engineering, ain't it? The nibs are fabulous on that pen.
Yeah.
It's yeah, and I mean, I know from the way I post pens and types of pens I buy, people might get the sense that I'm I have only like expensive pens, and that's not true. To this day, I must have about, I don't know, 6 3776 Century pens. And I always tell people I want to get into it. If you want to get into it, you want to not spend a ton of money and get a real gold nib, look at the 3776 Century pen. Even their celluloid models are fabulous. They have the ones that look like the koi. It's like the red and white speckled celluloid, and the green one, which I had. The only issue with those is that the celluloid models are slightly smaller in dimension than the regular 3776 Century. So they're not called Century pens. Let me see if I have any. I don't know if I have anything like that left. Some of these images I got rid of after I got rid of the pens, but platinum. Yeah, okay. So here's the 3776 celluloid, but I'll show you the size. Most people don't realize this, but when you look at the comparison, now the celluloid models are definitely much more expensive, but you see how slightly smaller it is? Slightly less earthy. Yeah. It's a noticeable difference to me, but that's beautiful material. That's the same celluloid I think I had my Hakase made out of. So, but getting back to Mr. Cypress, I mean, his website's got a lot to explore. There's tremendous amounts of variation there. It's crazy how many like Rodden pens he has. I mean, if you look at the Rodden, forget owls, just the Rodden themselves, there's literally, I'm not going to flash this. Well, I could flash it up, I guess. Hold on. That's why, Larry, I had the, when I presented my pens, I presented them in a PowerPoint format, you know, a slide format, just because I don't want to have to keep on delaying, come off screen, go on screen, try and find the image. It's much easier to do with the presentation. And when we do the pencil thing, I'll do the same thing. But if you take a look at this, there's on these pages, there's 3, 6, 9 pens per page. And he literally has, let's see, 17 pages of Rodden pens. Yeah, 17 pages of Rodden pens. He has a Rodden Dragon. Some of these actually look like, this is what, well, hold on, let me go back. He has a Rodden Parrot. He's got a Panda Bear. And if you take a look at how these things are done, this gives you insight into the way these artisans make this stuff. Wait a minute, come on, go here. Hold on, sorry, Larry. So you can see the panel here, and this is that's a cat, right? And basically, now it's not quite as, I think they have this extra long. They shouldn't have done it that way, but it starts off as a panel, and they basically adapt the panel to the pen. But it's a real labor-intensive process, and you can see they actually engrave, just so you engrave metal, they engrave into the abalone and mother of pearl, and then I guess put some type of ink or paint in there to give it definition. And so it's not just simply a cutout pattern; it's actually detailed to make it look like they want it to look, which is pretty amazing. But considering all that,
do they get that pattern and wrap it around the pen?
Yeah, I think they somehow they adapt it. If you look at my pen is round, but there is where the owl is. It does feel a little faceted. I don't know how they do it, but it's pretty amazing. You know, especially if you're into these things. They got tigers, and you can see here that's a cicada. I mean, they come up with all this different stuff. There's another owl over here. This is an owl that's like mine, but it has a split. The head is on top of the cap. They have ones that are just pure caps alone. This is actually a beautiful Urushi Rodden pen. This one here.
That is pretty. Look at
that's
that.
$520. You know, if you look at some of the bigger brand names, you know, they run a lot more money than this. So, but just a reminder, if somebody goes to the website, you might land on maybe the Chinese version, but you can switch at the top here. You can switch to English. So if you land on the original website, it's going to look like this when you start reading things. Well, everything's going to be in a different character and font. So if you go click the English, it'll come up the way you need to see it. And you know, just look at some of the variety here of these pens. It's incredible. It takes a while to get through the entire website. You know, I actually haven't done it yet. You know, these are more modern designs at Rodden, you know, but you also want to make sure you change to US dollars on the right side of the screen. I'm assuming it's the same on any particular computer. This is another style of Urushi work that's done. And honestly, I don't know. I have to ask him. I don't know if he does all this stuff or he employs people to do it. But when you go to, if something you want is not in stock, it'll say, you know, not, you know, out of stock. But like I said, I don't know who does all the work, if it's just him. But you know, you remember my Tassia pen. This is very similar to the Tassia pen with the eggshell and the abalone.
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
What I changed though on my pen, the grip section where the nib is inserted.
Yeah,
I didn't like that, so I just wanted a plain ebonite section, which he did for me, and it was no additional charge for that. So yeah, they're just beautiful.
What was wrong with the section that you didn't care about?
No, not the shape of it. I just didn't want inlays on it. I want plain ebonite section.
Okay.
And you know, so but I also love the fact that I can get 3776 nibs in a different shape. It's not just with the horn. You can get the 3776 in a complete ebonite body that's larger than the 3776 pen itself. But there's so many different things you can do. It's just so crazy how much stuff he has. As far as the 3776 goes, he let me see here. So these are the variety of 3776s you can get. You know, you can get one of these ones that look like a bamboo thingy. And these are all in the $400 range and slightly higher. But you know, if you're interested 3776 nibs and the one pen's a little too small for you, I mean, the variety is just amazing here. So this is one of the models I got. So in this area here, the coral star with the ebonite and horn.
Bring that up, would you? A big shot.
Which one? Which one?
That one, that coral, the one you have, that one. That one
Okay.
there.
Yeah, I had the red coral. Okay, let's see. White.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I forget which is mine has the black horn, but I like the natural horn too. That's one with green ebonite. You know, these are beautiful pens. And again, this is set you back $450. But
hey, Dr. Toe, I was looking at one of those pens. It has one of the black and white ones. It has kind of a rainbow sheen to it. Is that actually part of the pen, or is that some sort of a reflection when they're taking a picture?
This one?
No, it was one of the previous ones, the one that looked like a circuit board.
Oh, you're talking about the Rodden pens. Okay.
Yeah, the Rodden.
Well, remember that for some of these, for abalone, abalone comes, it has colors, right? And let's see, where's the modern one?
I'm looking at the one called PCB1.
Hold on. You can actually search these things out too. PCB1.
-1, if it makes a difference, you know.
Oh, okay. I don't know if it's searchable by his number. There it is.
That's the one.
Oh, here. Yeah, so if you notice the reflection is coming up with a different color than this. It depends on the cut of abalone they use. Like the owl has very colorful abalone. It usually comes in colors like red and blue and green. I don't know. I'd have to. Yeah, some of these images can be, you know, just the refraction of the light and things.
You know, look at that fourth one over under the big picture. That one, yeah.
This one here.
Yeah, so that's where I was really seeing that sheen.
Yeah, no, and I think it probably depends upon the angulation of the pen, because even with my owl pen and other ones I've had, it can be, you know, that can change depending upon the lighting. Yeah, I just, you know, I really love those pens. I haven't had lots of Rodden pens. I've had a few of them, but because you can get, you know, Olga liked the pattern apparently. And I like that pattern too, but there's some geometric designs they have. But for me, I wanted something with I like owls, so it made sense to me. But if you just look at the Rodden collection he's got, it's absolutely crazy how many pens they have. And if you want an eggshell pen, they've got one just eggshells. And you know, considering that if you take a look at this one here, that's $483, which again is not cheap. But you know, the Tassia one, you know, it's around $1,200, I believe. And I love the Tassia pens, but, you know, they have such a variety here. And so I would really encourage people, if you have a question, I usually contact him through, and assuming it's a him, I usually contact him through Instagram. He'll respond on Instagram. And these are just, you know, crazy, crazy, beautiful pens. Here's one.
Let me ask you a question. I'm curious. We always see all these other pens on the internet at the different pen stores, at the different pen shows, but I never see these types of pens anywhere. Why is that?
I think apparently, I don't know this for a fact, but apparently he's only direct sale. I don't know if he has companies that sell his pens. That's the other thing you got to keep in mind. Think about someone like Ryan Krusak. To the best of my knowledge, Ryan sells his pens directly, you know. And so in order for you to see them at the shows, he has to be there, or somebody will be willing to represent him has to be there. So I haven't seen these pens either anywhere. You know, you can see the Mikis, right? The expensive ones. You know, companies like Goulet carry them, and you know, the Mont Blanc pens are certain distributors, but This is apparently more of a direct, direct sale. And it could also be why the prices are lower, cut out the middleman. And these things were shipped
Yeah.
to me via FedEx. So the thing,
makes sense.
the thing you have to get by is customs, because something can delay it in customs. But I didn't have to pay any type of duty tax or anything on that. And the first pen I got from Fonteplumo in the Netherlands, I guess, was this. Hold on, let me stop sharing this. In fact, I wore it in my pocket last night. It was this red one.
Oh, look at that baby. Oh,
Yeah, it's a beauty. It's basically, the frame is an ebonite king of pen from Sailor. Sailor makes the nib. But I got it from Fonteplumo, and I think I had to pay to come into the country. I think I had to pay like a $55 fee.
really?
Yeah, there are certain countries, and some countries going back the other way, trying to sell to them, is the fees are absolutely crazy. It's inhibitory to any kind of trade or purchase. So, but I've never had anything like that from Japan. But Fonteplumo was the first time I had to pay something. They send you a notification through your email. Say, listen, this is in customs right now. You need to pay this, blah blah blah. So once you pay it, they release it. I guess they're trying to make sure nothing illegal is coming in, or people are trying to subvert the system. I don't know, but yeah, Mr. Cypress has been a real class act. And I will be getting more pens in the future from him. But I don't know if it's like Mike Green, one guy working on a pen, or if it's him and a team of people working on a pen. I just don't know. Even Ryan, I think Ryan has other people helping him, I think, but not that many. I don't know how Sal must, Matrone, I don't know how they produce, because he's got so many pens out there, high quality. Yeah. So I don't know if he makes every one. It'd be interesting to ask him that.
I think when he comes on, we can ask him that.
Oh yeah. So I had asked him a while back to make a custom Leonardo for me. He did it. First one he did for me was the very first Grande that came out. I asked him to make one for me with the number 8 Bach nib, and he did. It was the first pen with the number 8. He said they just think it looked beautiful with the number 8 nib. And I also asked him about an arcocelluloid one, which I haven't followed up on. I may need to talk to him about that. But the workmanship is just so stellar. I think the one thing that ties all these folks together, and I wish we could see some change there, but it's kind of difficult to do. It would be wonderful to see people make their own nibs. But that's a real daunting task, Larry. That's a real daunting task to be able to do that. Some of these companies that still do it are using old equipment. I know Santini now, pens from Italy, has just come out with the number 8 size large nib. It's something that's supposed to be in the, I can actually bring that up for you. Hold on. Now we're out of stock, and that's another one of the pens I have on my list of things to do in the next few months. So Santini, like a few other companies like Aurora, make their own nibs, which is rare to see today. So they named this the Giant 8. And let me see if I can get this up on the screen for you. Close this down. Okay. So this is what they call the Giant 8 collection. Back in stock after January 25th. So I'm assuming sometime they're going to be coming in. But these are the larger nib. This is the number 8 size nib.
Yeah.
And I think you can see a good picture of it here, I think. Wait. No, maybe not. But it's a beautiful nib, and they make it themselves. And that would be one thing to really distinguish people. And right now, pen makers try to distinguish themselves with the materials they use, maybe the shapes of the pen. But I don't know if there was one custom pen maker. I don't think there's around anymore. It's Ramillo in Spain. I have one of their pens. They made their own nibs by hand. And unfortunately, the nib I got it needed work, so I had Mike Masayama fix it up for me. But you don't see it anymore. What everybody's using Yovo and Bach nibs, and so maybe how they're tuned could be different, or how they're ground. But when somebody asks me, well, how's the pen write? I'm like, well, it's a Bach nib. It's a Yovo nib. I mean, it could write great. It could not. And if they'll have it fixed up, but that question is really reserved for me, for Mont Blanc, for Pelican, how they make those pens. And you watch how they make a Mont Blanc nib, it's pretty amazing. And or a Pelican. So for me, how something writes, they're all using the same nibs. Every once in a while, somebody will sneak a Schmidt nib into that, but it's basically Yovo or Baca. And don't get me wrong, they're great nibs. For me, it's more about the writing experience. That's what it's like for me, just like you like the way Mont Blanc's write. I love the way.
What's your opinion on the iridium nibs? How you say it?
The iridium tip?
Yeah.
You got no choice. You got to have that on there. It's
So, is there different ones made tips like that, or just one certain brand?
No. Right now, no. To the best of my knowledge, every gold nib has some type of tipping on it. If not,
right,
the gold would wear away in no time. Doesn't matter. It's 14. Even if it was worse, it's 21 karat gold. So no, tipping is important. Now I will tell you this: in the days of the old steel pens, like Esterbrook's, you'd screw a new one in. Most of those steel pens did not have tipping, but they did make a line of tipped. And I've got a few of those, and they write a heck of a lot better. But yeah, so tipping is something that's essential to a gold nib. But I'm pretty sure most of the steel nibs have it too. I'm not 100% positive, but you've got to have some type, because whatever that is, and we call it iridium, but I've read somewhere it doesn't contain a lot of iridium to begin with. Whatever it is pretty damn hard. And so that helps protect the tip of your nib. And even if you're talking about ones that have chisel points or obliques or left obliques, those are all iridium type tips that have been ground down. And when they grind these pens down, if you watch like someone like Mike at work, or someone of that caliber working on pens, let's say you wanted to take a medium Mont Blanc down to a fine, they don't just simply work on the tip. The way that the nib at the top where the tip has a curvature to it, the gold.
Yeah.
They'll actually put that entire curvature into it to help achieve the profile he wants. And it's amazing. Those guys that can do that's amazing to me. Another guy you could look into is Dan Smith from the Nibsmith. He sells pens and also works on nibs. He's a good nibmeister. He goes by the company Nibsmith. The majority of fountain pens I've given away in the past, I'd say at least upwards of 20 of them, I bought through him. And so, and in my giveaway, I just buy the pen. I'm not asking a guy to contribute anything. So, but Dan has been very, very good. And I know he'll put different types of nib. He does the architect grind and all that stuff, give you an extra fine needle point if you want. So yeah, Nibsmith, the name is Dan Smith. I did a quick interview with him at the Atlanta Pen Show about 2-3 years ago. The problem is the whole thing was overexposed. It was blurry, so I couldn't use it. So next time when I meet Dan again this year at the Atlanta show, I will definitely record a video in better form than I did back then. It's tough when you go to those places. You set lights up, and and I didn't want to carry a whole bunch of stuff with me. But that's another good person to consider, Larry.
Okay.
Let's see who else.
Well, Doc, we're fixing to go here, but I think I sent your message, and I need to talk to you. But thank you for showing up. You kind of saved the day. I don't know what happened to
Diego.
Yeah, Diego, but you're perfect, and I got these other ideas because you're on, and you just gave me the idea, and perfect. So with that, I'm going to say thank you, and I'll see you shortly.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Take care, my friend. God bless you. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. We're gone.